Comics are supposed to be fun, right? Colorful heroes, big fights, and dramatic cliffhangers. But every once in a while, a story comes along that doesn't just shake up the characters, it divides the fans. This is the story of a comic so controversial, it forced DC Comics to rethink everything about its universe. And nearly 20 years later, people are still arguing about it. Because this wasn't just a murder mystery, it was a line in the sand about who our heroes are, what they're willing to do, and how far readers are willing to go before saying, this isn't my Justice League anymore. To understand Identity Crisis, you need to know where DC was in 2004. Marvel had just pulled itself out of bankruptcy and was firing on all cylinders with books like Ultimate Spider-Man and New X-Men. Marvel was cool, fresh, modern. DC, on the other hand, had icons, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, but the company was struggling with relevance. They wanted something bold, something that would grab mainstream attention. Not another Crisis where universes collided, but a grounded, emotional thriller that felt ripped from the pages of a mystery novel. So they turned to Brad Meltzer, a best-selling suspense author. His pitch was simple but chilling. Take the Justice League, Earth's most trusted heroes, and drop them into the middle of a crime that exposed their darkest secrets. What nobody realized was just how far this story would go, and how much it would divide the fan base. Identity Crisis begins with the brutal murder of Sue Dibney, wife of Elongated Man. She wasn't a hero, she wasn't a villain, she was innocent. Her death hit fans like a gut punch. For years, Sue and Ralph Dibney were comic relief, a loving, goofy couple in a world of grim vigilantes. Killing her wasn't just unexpected, it felt cruel. But that was just the beginning. As the Justice League investigates, we learn a disturbing truth. Years later, Dr. Light assaulted Sue Dibney. The League responded by mind-wiping him, and then kept doing it to other villains. In some cases, they even erased memories of their own teammates. Suddenly, the Justice League wasn't so noble. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, the paragons of mortality, were now part of a world where justice had a shadowy underbelly. Some fans were hooked, others were furious. Was this a brave attempt at realism, or had DC betrayed the essence of its heroes? The controversy was immediate. Fans flooded forums, letters columns, and conventions with anger. Critics accused Meltzer of leaning on shock value, turning beloved characters into plot devices. Sue's death was seen as a textbook case of fridging, a female character being killed only to motivate male heroes. But the sales told a different story. Identity Crisis sold like crazy, outperforming expectations and dominating comic shop conversations. And DC took the wrong lesson. Darkness sells. This one comic set the tone for nearly a decade of grim storytelling in DC. It led directly into Infinite Crisis, Final Crisis, and eventually the New 52. Each event was darker, more cynical, more violent. For some readers, that was bold storytelling. For others, it was the moment DC lost its way. The biggest reason Identity Crisis hit so hard is because it broke trust. The Justice League was supposed to be untouchable. These were the heroes who didn't cross the line, who were supposed to be better than us. Seeing them secretly alter memories, manipulate their enemies, and even turn on each other was shocking. And it wasn't just about the story, it was about the meta message. If Superman and Batman couldn't stay pure, what hope did any hero have? Meltzer wanted to show that heroes were human, flawed, and capable of mistakes, but many fans felt like it crossed the line into character assassination. The book also exposed a cultural divide in comics. Older readers wanted mature, challenging stories. Younger or more casual readers just wanted their heroes to stay heroic. And Identity Crisis was the flashpoint where these two visions clashed. It became more than just a whodunit. It was a referendum on what superhero comics should be. 2 decades later, Identity Crisis is still one of the most divisive comics DC has ever published. Some creators praise it for shaking up the formula and proving comics could tell adult stories. Others see it as the beginning of DC's obsession with cynicism, a path that alienated a generation of fans. But whether you love it or hate it, the story changed everything. It pushed DC into a darker age, shaped years of crossovers, and forced fans to confront uncomfortable questions about their heroes. And maybe that's the real controversy. Was Identity Crisis bold storytelling, or just a betrayal in disguise? Identity Crisis was the comic so controversial it changed DC forever. It didn't just kill Sue Dibney, it killed the idea that the Justice League were above moral compromise. It forced fans, creators, and even DC itself to decide what kind of superhero stories should we tell. But now I want to hear from you. What's the most controversial comic you've ever read? Was it Identity Crisis, The Death of Superman, One More Day, or something else entirely? Love it or hate it, comics like this remind us why we read in the first place. They make us feel something. And that keeps this medium alive.